It says we are live. Hello. We are here to discuss our book club pick for the month, which we have read The Toll by Neal Shusterman, which is book 3 in the Scythe series. A very chunky book.
I think it's like the official end of the series.
Thank goodness.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, right?
5 years down the line.
I can't, I have trust issues with authors that they say, this is the end, and then they come out with, like, more books, and I go, but you said that one was the end.
Yeah.
Now I'm beginning to second guess everything. So where do we want to start? Do we have a dramatic synopsis from Katie?
There's always a dramatic synopsis.
There better be a dramatic synopsis, or I'll want my money back.
Okay, luckily this one's quite short. Everything has changed in the world of the Scythes. Citra and Rowan have disappeared. The floating city of Endura is gone. It looks like nothing else stands between Scythe, Goddard, and absolute power. And now that the Thunderhead is silent, the question remains, is there anyone left who can stop him? The answer lies in the tone, the toll, and the thunder.
Dum, dum, dum.
So what format did we all read it in?
Library book.
I mean, I have the physical bit, but I also listened to it on Audible.
I couldn't get a hold of an audio. Like, my library didn't have an audiobook copy, or it was just, there was so long of a wait for it. I'm like, I'm not bothering. So
I think it's only available on Audible.
Yeah, literally says like only on Audible.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, that might be why the library didn't have it.
Like, you could probably get like the CD version.
Sometimes they're lucky and they do have them, but like most of the time, I don't know whether it's just an agreed thing with Audible. I'm not sure.
And what did we all rate this one?
I gave it 4. 4 stars.
Same.
Yeah. Same.
Oh my god! We've all got the same rating!
We all did the same. Well, there was nothing over the, like, that like would take it to a 5-star, and then like most of it was predictable, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a plan. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think what like knocked it down for me is the fact that it seemed to like drag on a little bit too much for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like, okay, I see where it's going. Why are we taking so long to get there? Come on now.
Yeah,
I agree. I think, because like on the core pile, for the plot and the intrigue, I gave it a 7, but whereas the others were like 8s. So it just was like the plot kind of dragged a bit.
I don't know why that was either, because even at times when I was reading it, I was like, is this really necessary? Can we cut this and then just move on?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like the slow parts, and there was quite a few of them. A lot of times I had to stop and take a break.
I think that's why it seemed like it took me longer to read, because I originally started it last month, and I was using it as my prompt for the year-long Witchathon challenge for Dystopian. And I think it took me about 2 weeks to finish, because I just kept putting it down and picking up something else because it was dragging for me. Mm-hmm. It's like I was enjoying it when I was reading it. It was just taking so long.
Yeah.
I think I literally had to just sit down and just go, okay, I'm gonna power through this because it needs to be done. Otherwise, I would have picked something else up to read because I was just like, yep, okay, what's next? Characters. Do we have a most favorite character?
I really like Rowan in this one. I don't know.
He was all right. I just felt like there was so little of him. It's hard to like really connect
But I
with him.
liked his character in this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
In this
I
one,
like
it seemed
the
like it was more about the toll. Like the
yeah,
guy, was it Grayson and what he could do, but at some point they all three of them came together. So I don't know. I don't
I
know if
like
I have
the
a favorite.
Lori. I want her name Lorianne, the one that was like a Nimbus agent.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah,
I liked her.
yeah. I don't know. Like none of them really stuck out.
I also kind of liked the what's the one that was on Goddard's side? Scythe.
Scythe Rand.
Rain.
Yeah, I know it began with an R. Yeah, they I liked them in this one. They kind
And
of
then
turned.
Scythe Constantine was like the way that he was reluctant to being under Scythe to Goddard, but then he like jumped ship.
Yeah. Trying to think of who played any sort of like, because it's like they all had their parts, and each one you got to see their different parts in the story, but not one kind of like took over versus the others.
Right.
I don't know. None of them really stuck out. If I had to pick one, I guess it would be um Citra.
Hmm. Yeah, I it's like I liked kind of like where all of their storylines were going, but I thought it's like I can't really nail down which one's my favorite because they all kind of like blended well with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to like put my finger on which one I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I think in the other books we were able to pick out characters more easily because they kind of one outshone over the other. But with this one, they all kind of had their own part.
Hmm.
They came together in the end. So I don't know. What about least favorite character?
Goddard for sure, and that
God.
Mendoza guy. Mendoza, I'm like, well, that's like his
Giant.
ending. Well, that's what you get, bitch.
Yeah, I didn't like. Well, I haven't liked him since book one, but he
Yeah.
really, I didn't like him this book. He was quite the, I guess, antagonist.
I
Which I
wanted
know
more.
you.
I wanted more like of the information that they started to like get from the back brain. I wanted more on that, like his causing of the like outer space colonies to like
Mhm.
implode kind of thing. I wanted a little bit more on that.
Yeah, it's like we were trying to get pieces of it, but they weren't really giving it to us.
Which makes me think maybe that's like what the like short stories and gleanings might touch more into. Maybe.
That could be. Or it'll be something like that, but it'll be with like Citra, Rowan, and the others on their different planets.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. Um, what about plot?
Which plot? It's
So I'm just like, it's just that
which
it drags in a lot
one?
of places. That's all.
Yeah. It's
Like
like
1
there
minute
just seems
something
to be
really good would happen, and then the next minute it'd be like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah. It was kind of almost like they just jumped around. There was no like one set plot, so to speak. I mean, Goddard was doing his thing, trying to have all of the power. But then you had like Rowan on one side, and then Citra was doing her thing, and they were trying to use them because everybody thought they were dead. So they were like, "Oh, well, we're gonna bring it back." And
it just seemed like there was like a whole lot of stuff. It's like I know they all kind of like connected to each other, but there's like so many little subplots, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be following here?
yes, I was a little lost on which one we were supposed to be paying attention to, because even with like the characters, they all kind of just blended together. But same with the plot, like there's no one plot that stuck out more than the others.
Yeah.
And I get that all of this is working simultaneously, like these are all the things that are happening at the same time, but at the same time I would like to see some sort of differentiation between what is important, so to speak, and what are subplots. What about the writing?
I thought the writing was good. It's like I mentioned, it's like even though I put down the book a few times because it felt like it was dragging sometimes, it some other parts made me want to keep reading, so I was reading like longer chunks during each time.
Yeah. I don't mind the writing style or the writing in general. It's easy to read and I like what I'm reading in. I just it's like
Mhm.
you said, there's those dips where it kind of gets slow and then I kind of lose interest there. Or and I didn't understand what the whole I guess it was like the Thunderhead when he would go through the iterations and then he would delete them, or one of them was self-deleted.
Yeah, that confused me like throughout the entire thing, but then when we finally got the reveal, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense now.
I guess that was the Thunderhead trying to create a better version of himself.
Hmm. Or more like humanoid version of himself.
Yeah. I still uh I wonder if he didn't put those in there and still kept the ending the way that he did, would it still be like would it make a difference if he took those out?
Mm, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm almost inclined to say that those aren't really necessary. I mean, I could see where they make a where like when he finally reveals it, that's where
Mhm.
it comes in, but if you're just reading the book and you come across those, you're not really gonna understand what's going on. So you can almost do without them.
What do you guys think of the ending of the plot?
Oh, I was more like feeling like antsy, go, 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 but I also I had a few drinks when I was reading it, so I was like glued to like reading it, and I'm like, holy crap, what's going on?
I liked how it ended with Citra and Rowan. That was quite
Yeah,
nice.
I
They
felt
finally
bad for the tonist, the Astrid. I felt bad for her because
she
she's
was the
all by
one that
herself.
kind of yeah, she was by herself. I kind of feel sorry
And
for the people that like went up in their little ships and then they got blown up.
yeah, And but I'm happy that like Jericho and Grayson are together. I thought that was sweet.
I didn't really see that coming. I mean, I kind of did, but I kind of didn't. But I figured there would be some sort of attack with Goddard. I mean, everything was predictable. You're gonna have some sort of like scheme that he didn't know about, and then he's gonna figure it out, and then he's gonna try to go after them. And
He's gonna
will
have
he
it.
succeed in getting them the way he wants? No.
I feel like Goddard's death was like really quick as well. I don't know if you found that too. I was just like, oh, whoa, that was quick.
It's like a little too easy, but
Yeah, he just didn't put up much of a fight, did he? It was just
yeah, it's like. But I also couldn't fault her because eventually I probably would have killed the guy too if I was in her position.
But is he really dead though? Like he might be revived.
Well, the way that it was described is like the failsafe was a thing of like completely reverting back to how like humanity's supposed to like being like dying by nature kind of thing, so not being able to be revived. So I believe he is dead.
Ah. Oh, good riddance. Defeated. I won't miss him.
And
He was
it just, I think the whole like point of that thing was just showing that even though humanity will eventually conquer death, it will never actually get rid of death because there's going to be always someone who ruins it for everybody else.
Mhm. This is why we cannot have nice things.
Yeah.
Do we have a favorite part in the book?
I found the dialogue between the Thunderhead and Grayson like being probably my favorite part of it. Just like them forming that like that relationship a little bit more.
It's almost kind of like a relatable thing, considering that we are in a technological world, and now we know that AI has been created. So who's to say that we could not have something similar in the future? How would you feel to have a relationship on any level with an AI?
maybe you're an AI, Alicia. We just
Yeah.
didn't know it.
I would name my
Right,
AI
short
Greg.
circuit. Rid found.
Or is it Jordan that's the AI?
He would probably destroy himself if he was.
Slowly but surely, we're all being replaced by AI. No. I don't I don't necessarily know that I have a favorite part. I did like when Citra and Rowan were reunited.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I think it was cute that she kept going, "Well, where is he? Why do you not know where he's at? Is he alive? He's dead. Are you sure?" That seemed to be their most like they wanted to know about the other this entire book.
Mm. Yeah, I'm the same with you, Alicia. Like, I don't know about like favorite part, but like, I think it was really nice when it was all like, they were reunited,
Mhm.
and just everything, got our dead in the end. Everything seems to be great, and um, the Citra being frozen, and then it's just the end where she's unfrozen. It's just like, yay! Like,
117 years later.
yeah, I know. Like, what? And then it's interesting, like how Rowan is like the one that takes over, isn't it? It's just like now it's his chance.
Don't let the power go to your head.
Yeah, really.
See what happens with that.
But yeah, it was a very roller coastery book. Like the up parts of where things like, oh, this is good, this is interesting. Then there's the down bits where it's just like, what's this plot?
Yeah. I'm still formulating and processing everything that went on in that book. But there was a lot. But
also, you got to think like it's taken you a while to get through it as well, isn't it? Really, like.
I mean, I started it the other day and finished it this morning, so
No.
2.5 days, roughly, yeah. But there's just so much going on, and like we've said before, that if there had been one set, like here's the storyline, but then we do have our subplots that branch off. There's no real set timeline for this one. Everything is just all kind of happening at once. So I don't know. Do we have a least favorite part?
The giant mass gleaning in the stadium whenever Rowan was taken.
Oh yeah. I didn't like that one either.
I mean, the bit where we thought that Citra was gonna kind of die, I was a bit like, ah! But then it was like, nah, we can just freeze her.
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since she seems to be doing so much good work throughout these 3 books. And then all of a sudden, she's the one that gets hurt. Yeah. Just like, no, you can't.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, you can't just kill her now. Like, literally, just like she said so much. Yep. Don't do it.
And then the AI is just like, oh, no, we're just going to freeze her for a while. And then when I can, I will reanimate her.
But 117 years to be exact.
Yeah. Why 117 years? And like, I know, like in our books, I didn't understand it at first because it threw it in there before they talked about it, and I'm trying to find it. It was towards the end, but they like put in a chart of all the, I guess, different planets. I'm trying to find it. Oh, here. All of this.
Oh, that? Yeah, I just flipped past that and I'm like, I don't care.
I don't think it has that, do I?
It was after 543 and before 546. It was just like this random page, and I was like, okay, you give me these pages and I don't, like, what am I looking at? And apparently
see, like, I didn't even read that because I was mostly listening, so I would just all of that. It's just like,
I got to that page and got confused for a second because the audiobook just kept going, and I was like, wait, what's all this?
Yeah, I think the audiobook just skips out, doesn't it?
It does. It just continues on, and I'm just like, okay, is this chart going to be something important? But then we find out that that's the list of planets that they had chosen for their survival. So that was weird. We could have probably done without that being in the middle of the book. They probably could have put that like in the back or something.
My question is why was the Thunderhead so worried about saving the human race? It's an interesting take of making the Thunderhead the savior when usually AI is what's taking down humans. I found that like an interesting kind of like plot twist.
It's And it's interesting that, like, because there's scythes involved, he can't technically interfere. But if you ask the right questions, he'll give you the answer.
Yeah.
That was very weird. It's interesting though, because like he's like, I want to help, but I can't help.
See, in,
I
in my edition of the Toll, I've got a Waterstones exclusive, and there's a bit at the back that's author commentary. So he literally comments on each chapter and like why he wrote it and whatever. Like, so I was just trying to go back through to like what I kind of like read. So like he said, one of the most difficult parts of this book is the fact that not only are we following multiple characters in multiple places, but we are doing so in more than one timeline. He said
oh, for crying out
in an early draft, I actually began with chapter 2, but then I realised that it took so long to get to familiar characters and introduce the main thrust of the book that I then decided to begin with Grayson, the last character that we saw in the Thunderhead.
loud. Okay.
Yeah, sure, bro. Cool story, bro.
Interesting. It did seem like there was a lot of different. I think that's why I had a hard time like keeping track of everything, because we're not introduced to any new ones per se, but we do have a lot of characters in different places. I don't necessarily know that they're on different timelines though. Because it seems like to me everything seemed like it was just happening all at once.
Yeah.
Just in different parts of the world.
Just in different time zones. Not in different timelines, just different time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it said that when Citra and Rowan are then revived, the story had to follow separate timelines because if they were linear, then they wouldn't come back until around page 400. I decided to jump back and forth fairly quickly between both of them to contrast their experiences. Citra is treated well, and Rowan is treated like a hated criminal. And also to get the chance to flash back to what happened in the vault after we left them in Thunderhead.
What happened in the vault? The Bon Chickawawa part?
The one that we're pretty sure happened, but they don't show us that in the book.
Because with it being like a YA novel, it wouldn't become YA if like they're unfrozen and like 9 months later, hey look, there's a baby.
Yep. That is true. And you can't really survive at the bottom of the ocean with a baby or anything. So hypothermia it is.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be dead-ish and come back. But now that they're in outer space, 117 years later.
I like this. Scythe Rand, she is such a sociopath, but yet there's something about her that I like. She makes no apologies for who she is, and the fact that she's still in love with the late Tiger Salazar gives us a reason to like her. Her secret conversations with his memory constructs reveal this, and that she is coming to realize that putting Goddard in power was a mistake.
No. Would have never have guessed that.
That was interesting because I remember them saying that because it was a construct of him, she would never have different answers. They would all be the same answers every time she tried to run the scenario, so to speak. But yet she kept trying. I think she just wanted to hear his voice. She might have a soft spot hidden under all of that exterior.
Alicia, like this view, like when you listen to the audiobook, like do you remember the voice that they have like for Goddard, who like obviously has Rowan's not Rowan, Tiger's voice, and it's just like, what are you on about, man?
He's like the party dude. stuck in a grumpy old man's body. I am power hungry, but I will do it with style, man.
It's just like with the voice.
It was almost like it was like because it was Tiger's body, he was trying to like take back over. Like only if they could insert his brain again instead of Goddard's. That was did we cover our least favorite parts?
Yeah.
I think we did. Would you reread it?
Yeah, I think I would. I would put it up there as like with Hunger Games, with it being like a dystopian that I can see myself rereading.
Maybe not right away, but in a couple of years. I would reread the series. Would you reread it, Katie?
I don't know. Like I would give it a few years probably.
Yeah.
There are many books that I want to read in the meantime, if that makes sense. Like,
there's not enough hours in the day for me to read everything.
I mean, I know there is the book Cleanings, but I'm not in a hurry to go read that soon, if that makes sense. Like reading this book hasn't made me like, oh, I must go read Cleanings now. You know, it's kind of, you know what? I'm in no rush. I'll get to it eventually.
That's Gleanings is gonna be like if I get to it, I get to it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to go pick it up next, like you said. We have Lucinda.
I didn't realize you were right there. Hello.
Lucinda has joined us. Hello, Lucinda.
Hello, Lucinda.
Tell us your thoughts of the toll, if you have any. Would you buy this for someone else? I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't.
Yeah, it's difficult, really. Like, I really liked the first book. Like, if I had to have a favorite out of the three, I would say the first one for me.
Yeah. I think I would buy someone the first one, and if they liked it, then go say, yes, continue on. But I don't necessarily know that I would buy them the entire series.
Yeah.
I would just buy them the first one and say, have at it.
Yeah.
Lucinda thought it was okay. I think we're all coming to that same conclusion. It was all right. It's nothing to write home about.
Like, it had a nice ending, and it wraps up the trilogy, doesn't it? So
yeah,
it's still very little timelines and things, but
would you read another book by this author?
I mean, I have done.
Yeah, I thought about reading, what was it, Dry?
Yeah, that's the one I've read, yeah.
I think there was an advertisement for that one in the back of my book. Yeah.
There you go. But I would probably try and read the Unwind.
Those
series. Yeah.
They did a lot of his like books in the back. So I don't know. Maybe again, it's not one of those that I have to rush out and go get another book from his.
I mean, I know that I really liked Dry. I think I gave it a 5, actually. I think I liked it. But that's the only other book that I've read by him.
It's like the launch of a sci-fi series at the end.
Yeah, I would actually like not necessarily in the same universe, or not universe, but not in the same series, like continuing the series, but like still in the same universe, like going to one of the planets and another thing kind of like spinning off of that.
Yeah.
and, like the planet. Um, yeah, some of the people going like in the planet, like
Love with a computer.
Yeah. That
well,
was a
I
little.
found it more of like a parental type of love, not like a romantic type of love.
Well,
Can you
that
not?
and like
Great.
I think the Thunderhead was trying to get the sense of like what it was like to be human. Not necessarily that he was trying to like fall in love with, but he was just like, I want to know what it's like to be you. It was like a 1,000 plus year journey.
Oh, we
So
get that.
it
That is honestly what the third book
romantic.
felt like. Like, how long have we been in this book? We've covered so many years.
Ugh, there's a lot.
Different timelines, different. Oh,
Would you want another book from this world? I think Sam kind of already answered this one, like not necessarily in this world particularly, but like a spin-off version. Which, yeah, because I would like to see how Rowan and Citra continue their life, but again, not in this Scythe
I
world.
would like a book from their descendants' point of view.
Oh, that
I
would
think
be
that
interesting. Yeah, because now they're on a whole new planet, creating a whole new way of life, and they can choose to do with it however they want.
yeah. That would probably be the only thing I would like from the world.
Yeah. Lucinda says, I meant the launch to the new world journey, but yeah, it potentially could have been cut down a bit.
Oh, yeah. We
Well,
were just
yeah,
like, yeah, it took 1,000 years to get through.
yeah. There was a lot that we feel could have been cut out of that book and still made the same impact. It did.
that
I
could have
don't
made
feel
no
it needed
sense.
to be the 625 pages that it was.
Yeah,
That's too much.
and too many side characters as well, like in it as well.
Yeah,
I forgot some of them were people, and then they were like they reappeared, and I was like, "Wait, who's this?
Yeah.
were
Why
you?
do I care?"
Like, wait, we've gone
Oh,
back to this one.
Why are
yeah,
you important?
like the one that I forget if it was Constantine or the other one. There was two, and one of them like he was with Goddard, but then went into hiding, and then the other one was like, "Peace out." In the
Oh,
beginning,
Morrison. Yeah, Morrison.
possibly.
The one that was supposed to kill Grayson, but ended up being his bodyguard instead.
Yes. And I was like, "You so easily switched sides." Like, I mean, I get it. Like, you had a choice, but
Well, he kind of was like that whenever he was first introduced to Citra during like the conclave, where he was like all for being like besties with her or
yeah.
trying to like get in her pants or something like that. I'm like, this guy is strange.
Lucinda says the Goddard being the Thunderhead's nemesis was done interestingly.
The
Yeah,
Goddard.
that was quite. It was done interestingly because um, it's he's trying to gain power as much as possible, but it's almost like the Thunderhead knew what he was doing before he could do it. Which
Mhm.
I mean, AI, you're going to. This was like a resemblance of chess. This whole book, I think.
Yeah, I could see it.
And I didn't really put it together until Jerry and Grayson had a conversation and then they were asking the Thunderhead certain questions to get the answers that they wanted. And I was like, oh, I see everything now. Everything is just a piece in this game of chess.
Yeah.
What books would you recommend that are similar to this?
I would say the Ugly series because it's set like almost like a utopian type of dystopian novel where everyone is supposed to be like what beauty standards are as pretty, and if you're not then you can get like surgeries to become pretty and kind of, and it takes down that concept.
I don't think I've read that one. I'll have to see.
It's by Scott Westerfeld. It was also like one, still probably is one of my favorite dystopians. Like I read it before the Hunger Games and loved it.
That is
Um,
one series I need to read.
I've read
yeah.
it like reread it so many times now since like when I first read it. I
There's,
think I read it in high school.
there's still quite a few just like YA dystopians that've been around a while that I still haven't read. Like Matched as well, I think it's dystopian, isn't it? Or something.
Yeah, I think I read the first one of that and really didn't care all that much for it. It's like I'm
I
really
don't think I
particular
had
when
that.
it comes to my dystopians and what I enjoy, apparently.
I think I had that one, but it was on my shelves for so long, and I was like, I'm never going to read this, and I got rid of it.
I had
Is
it
it?
too, but it was more of like, I don't think I'm going to reread this, so I sent it to a friend of mine for her to read because
Uh
she
huh.
had interest in reading it. So I'm like, here you go, you can have my copy.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those. You read the synopsis, and then it's just like, am I really going to read that or no? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
I think Flawed by Cecilia Hearns was dystopian.
Who? What?
Flawed by Cecilia Ahern, I think it's dystopian. I can't really remember it though because it's been so long since I read that.
I would suggest the Wither series, but I haven't read that one.
I've only read the first Wither book. I quite liked it actually.
Yeah.
I've read the first of this duology, but Warcross by Marie Lu. If you want more of a techie type of dystopian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the Legend trilogy as well, isn't there?
That's the thing is
Yeah.
like I can't really recommend anything that would be similar because I haven't read a lot of dystopian and or dystopian with some sort of technology or AI um, piece to it. This is actually the first one. So I don't know. Just read all of the things and figure it out. Do we have any other comments?
No. I don't think
Any
so.
other things that we would like to bring up? Lucinda?
I thought the tonist, like, plot line with them starting to, like, spiral out of control kind of thing. And how it became, like, a war with the scythe. Thought that play on it was interesting.
The Chonist versus the Scythes.
Mm-hmm.
What was interesting? The other thing that was interesting was when they did do that Faraday and I guess whatever her name was, uh, they got like the huge
Jesus.
tone fork or whatever. They got it to do its thing and it like shattered all of the gems
Oh, yeah.
in the rings.
And, like, cause the whole, like, bringing on the plagues type of scenario.
Yes. Lucinda says AI and never dying is a hard combo. It is. I agree. Um, Yeah, that was interesting. It seemed, and it was like all things that we had in the past. And then they were able to, like, the scythes were still able to glean, but glean differently.
Yeah. More like leaning to bring comfort, not to whittle down the population, because technically the population was whittling down themselves because of being
Right.
of sickness and stuff.
I couldn't imagine our world being like that. Like you don't die per se, and if you go dead-ish, then you can be revived, and then that's how you go out is one piece of the plague, the 10 plagues. What a way to go!
It's like you thought you were gonna live forever. Psych.
Now look what you have done. You've brought this on yourself. I don't even remember what they were. And I just finished reading it.
Jeez, Alicia.
I know. 10 mortal diseases: pneumonia, heart disease, stroke, cancer, cholera, smallpox, tuberculosis, influenza, bubonic plague, and malaria. Well, I mean, if you had to go out by one of those, which one would you want? Whichever one goes quickly.
Knowing my luck, it will probably be cancer since that's what runs in my family.
Same. If you have more than one that runs in your family, well, that's your higher risk.
Yep.
But at least you'll know you'll die peacefully because the scythe will help you.
Only.
Right. Anything else?
No. I got nothing.
I can't think of anything else. But then again, I'm still processing.
See, I told you you're an AI. Processing.
No.
Mhm.
Processing what I read at a very fast pace. I think I ended up finishing the book at, I think I was reading it at like 2.8 times speed. So at different times I would tune out for a second and I would just zone, and I just, all you hear is blah, 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 blah. And then you come back and you're like, wait, oh, what are we reading?
What's going on?
Exactly. Then you have to find your page, your spot on the page. Oh, okay. Yep. How it goes.
Whew.
All right. So, what is the next book?
We were gonna do this, weren't we? The next 2 months.
So then, part one will be on whose channel?
Is it?
Wouldn't it be mine? Because isn't it Katie's the Get a Life Chloe Brown?
That's right. So the next book discussion is the Get a Life Curly Brown, and then that is our book for
yeah.
March and April.
Yes, the next book is Get a Life Cobra, which is this month's book.
I read that one.
February's book discussed in March, but next month's book that you read is this one.
Yeah,
I'm getting there.
actually, I am prepared this time. I got mine right here.
Yay!
Mine is on the other side of the house because
Yes.
I have been trying not to dig into reading it now. So our next book discussion is for Get a Life Chloe Brown.
Mhm.
When is that?
Yes.
Have you set up a date yet?
Well, it would be March 10th
It'd be March
or
March
March
9th,
17th.
March 9th or March 16th. I don't know. It's a
I already hit.
kind of a 5-week month.
Yeah. I forgot the way I set up my bullet journal. I set it up as a Monday first, and that threw me the heck off.
Uh,
Why did I do that?
So you're saying March 9th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
There you go.
March.
So March 9th will be on Sam's channel. Forget a Life, Chloe Brown. At
Oh, is
Chloe
that me?
Brown. Chloe Brown.
Chloe Brown's me.
what's the matter?
Chloe Brown is Katie.
March
Part
9th
one
is me.
Just stick it in the chat because I'm all confused now.
I will schedule it. Don't worry.
Yes, please.
Mm.
Whatever they said, that's when the next book discussion is. And the next book that we're reading after that is House of Flame and Shadow for March and April.
And Alicia's gonna go off and have an aneurysm.
Yeah, she's just like beep 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 beep.
I'll just have to.
Processing.
Rebooting.
I'll have to go and get updates and reboot and sync all of the information. Lucinda says, "Did you get yours from Sainsbury then, Katie?"
Yes, I did. Although the one in Ringwood on the price thing said £11, and I was like, but Lucinda said it was £10.50. And then when I took it to the till, it said £10.50. So they obviously just hadn't changed their price ticket. But yes, they had 2 copies there, and I was like, I would take the one from the back that no one's touched.
I do the same thing. I don't want the book that's up front. I always
Yeah, 'cause
grab the
people
ones that
pick
are
it up.
behind.
And touch it, look at it, and put it down, don't they? So.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have me who doesn't really care because I buy used books all the time.
I don't know. It's just something that I've always done ever since I was young. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right for me. If I pick up the first one, it's just like, don't do it. Get the one behind, unless there's literally only one copy.
Then I will order it online. My books have to be pristine.
I'm just trying to think what is half of this book. I'm just trying to work it out. The chapter.
It's what, 885 pages or something.
Good luck, Katie.
I think chapter 46.
46.
Because, I mean, I can't obviously half 835, but half of 835.
How many pages are in the book?
Well, I've got 835. Have you got the same?
What is yours, Sam?
Un momento.
Because yours will probably be closer to what mine is.
No spoilers, no spoilers. 835, yeah.
Yeah. So
when I first looked to see how many pages was when it came in, I'm like squinting my eyes. I'm like, no, don't read the sentences.
Just look at
so
the
half of
834 and it's 417. The closest chapter is 46 at page 418.
Okay, yeah.
So
oh my gosh.
I will stick a tab in it. Don't read further than this.
Don't tell me what to do. Rude.
I am your mother. Listen to me.
Oh my goodness. If we have any other comments, questions, concerns.
Concerns. We are concerned you are an AI, Alicia.
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
I have lots of concerns, but not in regards to book stuff at the moment.
Have either of you started Get a Life, Chloe Brown, yet?
I've
It would
already
be a
finished it.
read for me, so I haven't yet. I'm still behind on a bunch of stuff. I'm just trying to read the one library book that I have that I need to get done. So.
You need to ask the right questions. Yes. I've already read Chloe Brown. I gave it a 4.5.
Did you are you have you read it, reread it, or like?
No, that was my first read through.
Oh, it's your first time reading it.
Yeah, I need to do a reread because I think I read it about a year or two ago, so I don't really remember too much other than the fact that they.
That's why I listened to the audio again. So
yeah, that's what I did. I read it and listened to the audiobook.
Yeah,
I actually get sad when I can't find an audiobook for a certain book. And I'm like, damn, now I gotta actually read it. Like reread. Yes. I can't listen read.
Like my bodyguards.
All three of them?
No, Mocha's
not. Yeah, there's one on the chair, one on the floor.
Yeah. Harry and then Bravo. Bravo's on the floor. Bravo just fell out of the window, so feeling a little embarrassed.
Wah, wah.
Oh, Bravo.
Harry!
Hi, Harry!
Harry!
Hey, little Harry, it's me!
All right. We'll go ahead and end the live. So, thank you all for coming. Keep an eye on our Twitter so that you know when to find us for the next discussion and book. And where. And where, yep. And we will see you all next time.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye!